What are you at now?
I'm at 207 pounds right now.
Holy smoke. And you're 5'7" or 8?
Yeah, about 5'7". Yeah. So
nah, that's heavy, man. Like you're
I mean,
that's
I still really truly believe in this, is that you just don't find big people that never got pushed up, never pushed up hard, never got a little bit of like quite a decent amount of body fat on them. You just don't find, unless they're genetic anomalies, you don't find big people that like never push their body weight up. All the best natural bodybuilders that I know that aren't genetic freaks always got pretty damn soft in the off season, because it allows them to leverage the loads that builds the tissue that gets them big. You don't get big by staying, if I stayed at 170 or 180, which is, I don't know, I mean, man, I'd look great. I'd look phenomenal. I'd feel amazing, but I would not be getting the progress that I need to see. And I think I have started to prove that a little bit more with my coaching practices, in the sense that my athletes that are 24 and 25 years old are beating people that are in their 30s, because these people that are potentially older and staying closer to their stage weights in off seasons and they're not willing to push up the 50 pounds or the 45 pounds that maybe the younger athletes are still hammering. It's like we're catching up to them quite rapidly, because I do think there is a lot of weight, a lot of money to be found in the bigger off-season push-ups, especially for natural athletes. I don't necessarily think that it's quite the same now in the assisted realm, because there's a lot of health concerns with taking body fat levels that high when you are assisted. I think that assisted athletes can afford to stay a little leaner because they're naturally bigger individuals. They're going to be able to leverage quite a lot of heavy load in the gym, regardless of whether they're pushed up or not, because their stage weight is, most of them are like 220, 230, 240, 250 on stage. So they don't need a lot of body weight to leverage loads that they need to shift. But as naturals, like, if you want to be a big natural bodybuilder, you probably at some point have got to do at least a couple of really, really extensive push-ups to get the level of strength. Just doesn't happen when you're super light. You're not going to be able to press the heavy weights that a lot of these naturals are pressing to get the level of density up top, especially.
Do you think that the problem with a lot of the naturals, at least, they're trying to hold on a little bit too much to the shreds, the abs, because you're 60 pounds over stage weight right now, correct?
Yeah,
roughly
100%. Yeah.
So I mean, that's a big thing, because but yeah, if you want to chime in on that briefly.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I think that there's a way to run a prep where you come down to a certain level of body composition in a pre-prep diet, you maintain, and then you go from there. That pre-prep phase is very efficient for a lot of athletes. In fact, the ones that push up really hard, the pre-prep feels like it's an absolute relief. It's so easy to come back down to that set point and then do the rest of the prep from there, from maybe 30 pounds above or 40 pounds above, whatever it is. I don't envision that I'll step back on stage at identical stage weights. I think I'll be, again, heavier the next time I compete, for sure. I do think that, again, social media unfortunately builds this picture that if you're not looking a certain way, then people won't trust your processes or what you do, and people won't buy into a big push up if you're saying that you have to do it this way, and you post a picture of yourself looking blown up and people are like, oh, I don't want to do that. But there's a good percentage of bodybuilders now that get real tied up in, okay, this guy is performing this way, I want to do whatever it takes to perform that way, because I know that's going to then grant me the muscularity to be at competitive level against that kind of individual. And that's why I share a lot of my training, because I don't need to show people how I look right now. It doesn't matter. What matters is what I bring to stage and how much more improved it is on my last version. The work that goes in is the training. So I share all the training so people know what work is going in, and then they can be like, right, that's the work. So if I've got to do that work, I've probably got to take my body weight up to a place where I can get to that work level, get to that level of strength or performance. And I know myself that I wouldn't be at the level of performance that I'm at right now if I wasn't at this weight. I wouldn't be as strong. Yeah, it's really a case of, I think, finding where your best operating sort of body weight functionally is, because there's going to be some movements that feel amazing at certain body weights, and there's going to be some movements that don't feel as good. Could I maintain all of my pressing strength 20 pounds lighter than this? No way. Could I maintain all my pulling strength and leg strength? Probably. And what's my weaker body parts? they're all pretty much like relative to presses. So for me, I need to get to this point. For another athlete, maybe they don't. If I was competing next year, would I have gone this heavy? Probably still would have done, but I would have been starting a pre-preparatory diet right now. So, I certainly wouldn't start prep at 60 pounds above, start prep at a really a maximum like 40 pounds above. So take 15, 20 pounds off on a pre-prep diet and then do the rest from there. But again, if I pushed up this far, I'd expect to be coming down and being at least a little chunk heavier on stage, maybe 2 to 4 pounds, something like that. But that makes a massive difference when you do it right. So yeah, I think don't be afraid to push up. It really does pay off in the long run. Like Ben Howard was, a world champion, and like there's no one really giving him anything for it. Not that he doesn't ask for that. He's that humble, and he's that he just loves the sport. So, and in actual fact, funny story, when I told Ben that I was gonna make sure that he was on a contract, he said that